Good rising, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, give all praise of Yahweh. Acknowledgement to Earthly Mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledge Yahweh Shai. I pray the Most High bless this lesson this evening. Gives word knowledge and understanding of the events of the past and order understanding of events that are currently happening on the earth. So we get a much better understanding of the things that are soon to come on the earth. As you can see, we have absolutely no takers for Revelation 6 and 8. We do have idiots that would come on the comment board and say, oh, well, if you got music that has bad words in it, you can't be, a man of Yah. I'm like, really? That's funny. Do you say that to your pastors and your priests when, they're saying smooth things, but they're raping little boys and little girls? They're saying all the nice things with no cuss words, but they're doing the most vile and horrific things behind closed doors. Supposedly this loving and soft-spoken Christianity, has been killing the most people. Who's killed more people than Christianity? Who's killed more people than Constantine Christianity? Who's gone around the world raping, robbing, and stealing, and then lying about their history? Who's done more of that than supposedly this godly church with white Jesus that supposedly just loves everyone while you're just going around killing everyone? So please miss us with that. Go ahead and do something of substance and actually break down Revelation 6 and 8, 6 and 9. Do something like that. Go ahead and show us who the real Israelites are according to the Bible. Show us prophecy according to the Bible, not the breakdowns by man. Okay? So let's get into this real quick because I'm going to show you why they can't break down our books. So you guys walked around with the books. You're only going to be able to do that for a certain amount of time. And then it's going to be a painfully obvious at the end who the book really belongs to and who really has the Holy Spirit and who can really break down prophecy. Because your history tells on you. Your history is now caught up to you. Your history and the things that you've done shows that you were never about truth. You've always been about lying, hiding information, and that you've put yourselves in these fake positions of authority to make it seem like you really had some understanding when you never did. And that was been the whole thing. You just put people, just like even like now, when we had that video a couple of days ago talking about the Indians, and the white guy said, well, major historians think, or historians say that this thing with black Native Americans is just preposterous, just not believable, because historians say. Of course, you never say who. It's someone that we trust, someone that we can trust would be telling the truth. It doesn't have some type of an agenda, because you all have agendas. You guys are all Psalms 83, and you've all been working against our people. Let's take a real quick look at this. Queen Mu and the Egyptian Sphinx by Augustus Le Plongeon, right there, from 1896, first edition. So we got right here. We'll start at the top. I have been accused of promulgating notions on ancient America, contrary to the opinion of men regarded as authorities on American archaeology. See, it's the same things you guys have been doing. I'm white and I say so. These are the experts. These are the ones that we agree. Not we, you. The ones that you agree to listen to. Because they're just going to just pretty much go with status quo. Because that's how they get paid. That's how they get access to certain areas. Because they're only going to regurgitate what you tell them to say. So it goes, and so it is indeed. Mine is not the fault. However, although it may be my misfortune, since it has surely entailed upon me their enmity and its consequences. But who are those pretended authorities? That's exactly what we said. This has been going on since 1896, even before that. Who are these pretended authorities? Certainly not the doctors and professors at the head of the universities and colleges in the United States. For not only do they know absolutely nothing of ancient American civilization, but judging from letters in my possession, the majority of them refuse to learn anything concerning it. Is that not what's happening today with the Bible? We're giving the true breakdowns, the true understanding. We're going with history, bringing all this information together. And what do? They refuse to even learn it. They don't want to learn anything concerning it. They don't want to learn anything about who the true Israelites are. They don't want to learn anything about who the true Israelites are and who we know who the Bible revolves around. They don't want to learn any of that. They want to stay status quo. That's why even Revelation 7 and 6 and 8, they're not trying to touch what we're saying. They're just trying to say, just act like they don't hear it, and then still push Antichrist coming in the future. Still trying to push, the Antichrist is coming 7-year tribulation period because they don't want to learn anything because they can't. It may be inquired on what ground can those who have published books on the subject in Europe or in the United States establish their claims to be regarded as authorities. What do they know of the ancient Mayas, of their customs and manners, of their scientific or artistic attainments? So then they know nothing because they supposedly burned everything, and then came back and gave you their own breakdown. The Spanish came and gave you their own breakdown of the Native American history, saying, "Oh, this is like the oral information that they gave us." Yeah, and I'm sure you guys went ahead and just parsed through the information and pick and chose whatever it is you wanted to say, because that's what you guys have been doing this whole time. Do they understand the Maya language? Can they interpret one single sentence of the books in which the learning of the Maya sages, their cosmogonic, geographical, religious, and scientific attainments are recorded? Yeah, and they couldn't. From what source have they derived their pretended knowledge? That's what it is. You guys have pretended knowledge. You have pretended religious authority, pretended religious understanding. You have pretended understanding about absolutely everything. Okay? Not from the writings of the Spanish chroniclers, surely, right? They're going to get it from the Spanish chroniclers, right? These only wrote of the natives as they found them at the time of and long after the conquest of America by their countrymen. So they only talked about the pretendians. They didn't talk about the ancient ones. They didn't talk about the ones who built the pyramids. They don't want to talk about the ones that were, like Bonampak. They don't want to talk about those Native Americans that were here way before the pretendians. They just want to act like, like I showed you that they admit they don't know who built all this stuff because they weren't here when it was done. So again, not from the writings of the Spanish chronicler, surely. These only wrote of the natives as they found them at the time of and long after the conquest of America by their countrymen, whose fanatical priests destroyed by fire the only sources of information, the books and ancient records of the Maya, philosophers, and historians. Father Lopez de Cogulludo, in his Historia de Yucatan, frankly admits that in his time, no information could be obtained concerning the ancient history of the Mayas. That's it. They just because they didn't want to know about that, because the ancient Maya were Israelites, and you realize that you're actually going against the Most High's chosen people, and you're doing horrible things, and you're making yourself a goat, not able to be a sheep. He says, of the peoples who first settled in this kingdom of the Yucatan, or their ancient history follow, the Spanish chroniclers do not give one reliable word about the manners and customs of the builders of the grand antique edifices that were objects of admiration to them as they are to modern travelers. The only answer of the natives to the inquiries of the Spaniards as to who the builders were invariably was, "We do not know." And that's exactly it. They don't know. Well, they do know. They know that it was so-called black people, but they're not going to admit that. Okay? And you can read more of that on your own, but just let you know why they can't break down Revelation 6 and 8, because those are our writings. They were dealing with our people. And they don't want people to realize that, you made covenants to destroy the Most High's chosen people. We had writing. We were the ones who have prophecies. We are the ones that have connections with the angels and the intellectual world. These other nations might have, they might be talking to some angels, but they're talking to them from the infernal kingdom, from hell. That's where they were getting, their help from. Just like Janus and Jambres were getting their help from entities, from demons. Demons were doing things for them. But Moses was dealing with, the archangels and the angels that are in the world above the celestial kingdom. And that is what's going on right now. Now that this information is coming back to us, and as it comes back to us, they're being exposed. As you can see, and it doesn't matter what color you are, it matters where your loyalties lie. If you are loyalties lie with Psalms 83, then you're going to be stuck knowing absolutely nothing and not being able to have any understanding. Because you vomited up your wisdom when you made a covenant with these other nations. Just like it talks about in the Odes of Solomon in the Old Testament Pseudepigrapha. You got invited to the feast, you got invited to their dinner, but with that invite, you had to vomit up your wisdom and become like a zombie. And that's exactly what it is. So that's why you're never going to be able to break down Revelation 6 and 8, because you can't deviate from the script. All praise is high Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledge Yahweh Shai. Shalom.